Using one with tape where you'll hear the motor running or you'll hear the tape turning, you hear more of that background noise than you actually should be hearing. This is a great way to pick up some EVP's electronic voice phenomenon. These are normally sounds that are heard without being heard from the naked ear. You can hear this in background noise. Sometimes it comes through other ways. Telephones or two-way radios sometimes can interfere with this and you pick those up instead. But there are those rare occasions where you're in an area not expecting to catch anything and you go back and play it, which is what happened to us in Point Pleasant, West Virginia. We picked up what sounded like a child mimicking us or making fun of us, like he would be saying, nana nana, almost like that, between me and Brent when we were talking. It was in the background and our voices were in the foreground. And it sounded like he was really close to the recorder. A Geiger meter. This would have come in really handy if I had had it when we were investigating crop formations. It detects radioactive residue. It was used heavily during the Cold War era when they were testing missiles and testing radiation. Now this actually will warm up in 5 minutes. And it will show you areas where you've got abnormalities in radiation deposits. Of course, if you're using your regular analog cell phone, a good chance is when it rings, it'll spike to 2, which is a normal level. Same thing with a microwave, it'll spike to a 1 or a 2, which is normal everyday radiation. Our own bodies emit radiation. It's a smaller dosage, of course, but this, if you're in the red zone, you need to back out and find a biosuit. Night vision equipment. This comes in handy for when I'm doing field research, looking for cryptozoological creatures at night, like Bigfoot, Sasquatch, Yeti, or looking for UFOs in the night sky. This actually picks up lights that you can't see with your own eye. This has a little section on it where you can add a tripod to it to keep it steady too. And of course the dowsing rods. I'm sure everyone's familiar with these by now. Early pioneer method of well witching, looking for water lines to drill for underground water supplies. If these react in an area where there's no water lines or any kind of electromagnetic field that is made by man, of course, then the chances are you've tapped into something that's not going to make itself visible. And of course, this is evidence we've collected over the years. This is a picture that appeared in the Chillicothe Gazette last year during Horror in the Hills. It takes place out on Charleston Pike. It's an old wood-covered bridge, and I noticed up in the left-hand corner was this bright cylindrical orb. Of course, you zoom in on it, and it's shrouded in a blue haze. Now, the way to differentiate between a dust particle or a moisture droplet. Normally, moisture droplets have like a mimic type snowflake in the center. That's normally attributed to moisture. And if it's a dust particle, it has a perfect set of rings in the center, like what you can see when a tree gets cut in half. But this is enveloped in some sort of a cloudy haze, an actual blue haze, which would represent energy. This is something that caught my eye in the old burying ground of the Beaufort, North Carolina cemetery I was telling you about. You notice the bright flash of something that's on a non-reflective material, that being the tree behind it. Last time I checked, leaves do not project any kind of a reflective background. This actually might help better if I shut this off. There we go. Now, last time I checked, leaves do not behave in this way. When taking pictures of, even at night, they don't reflect like this. Once again, that's how it looked from a distance, and I zoom in on it, and it looks like this now. Right here, this is an image that was taken in